again at the Northern Angling Show. We're on the Mad Bait stand now, and we're going to be doing some boilie rolling. We're going to roll Jerry Hammonds' new winter bait, which we do a winter and a summer bait. I'm going to show you a bit of each and go through the bait, all the techniques for making your own bait, and all the problems and pitfalls that you might find. So most ingredients and everything you find will have a maximum, minimum equation level on them. So we'll start off eggs first. So we'll do a 4-egg mix. So crack your 4 eggs into your bowl. So there's the 4 eggs. Move them out of the way. Then to your eggs, firstly you add any of your liquid flavours. So Jerry's bait, called the Winter Zing, it's a blend of 4 different fruit flavours, 2 creams, and then it's got a little bit of butyric acid in the background to start with. So to 4 eggs, we had just 4 mil, so it's 1 mil per egg. Then to the eggs, we had any other liquid additives. So the Zing has the liquid liver. So to the liquid liver, we had 20 mil for the winter.
The thin one cuts into it, it's acidic and thin like water, if you like. And then the thick one, I'm rolling them around on the plate and leaving them in the sun to dry. So they get it cooked. You'll notice there's going to be no dead cut.
So there's 20 mil of the liquid liver. To that, we're going to add our colours. Now, Jerry's bait is like a washed out pink. So just the smallest little bit of red. And then we have the pure white.
Yeah, and this is Darryl was an unconvinced individual, as was Dan. Everyone, they're all
quite a bit of that, and hopefully it'll come out as washed out.
You know what I mean? The others, even a lot of the lads on the corner stand, unconvinced, we're very much like that over here. Right. It's quite hard to convince,
Give it a nice whisk.
Just another liquid. There's so many. It's not where the stands like liquid. From $5.99 to $2.99.
It looks a bit dark at the minute, but obviously the base mix we're going to use is quite white, so that will lighten the bait as well. Then we've got 3 powdered additives to go in, but a little tip for you. With powdered additives,
from nowhere, straight down to the hook bait. That is one example. Could be
before you add your powder, if you add them to the eggs, because you're putting such small amounts in, you'll end up with little hard blobs in all your bait. So what I do, take a handful of your base mix
and turns down to take it, flows it out. Now we're not looking everyone, but we've got from no chances in our
cover the top of your eggs, so it's all covered. Then we take our GLM.
That one that's initially they're going around trying to ignore it. That one,
spread that on the top of the base mix.
And he turned on 6-pence to go down there. Now whether he saw it out the corner of his eye or he got a taste.
The betaine.
I'm not pretty sure, either or combination of both. But that reaction, if you can get that on the hook bait.
On the top of the base mix.
Well, he can't be the colour until he's using a pink one before. There's only one thing.
And the pure liver powder.
One before. Yeah, they've been soaked in the goo attractor. Now, remember,
I'm not just throwing it in. I've made so many of them. I know roughly how much is going in rather than measuring it. But now, as you'll see, instead of being lumps on the top of your egg, it's spread over the rest of the powder. So as you start to mix that in, it gets evenly mixed through your bait, rather than ending up being little lumps all through your bait.
And this is Tom's cast, the worst place you can, really tight to the camera.
That's that.
Look, blue. Look. Thank you very much.
So now we'll take some more base mix.
Now, this thing goes on to meat fishing. Obviously, I'll be mad on any different little bait. This is going over days. Tom went on to catch loads.
Some of the recipes that you'll read in the thing will say 4 eggs, 500 grams, or 5 eggs. What I will say is add your powder to your eggs, don't weigh it out, and add everything to it, because obviously they don't know what size eggs you're using. So if you're using small eggs or big eggs, you'll end up with too much powder or not enough powder. So just add your powder, little and often, and you're looking for something, the consistency of bread dough, you want it a bit like plasticine, pliable but not sticky. So that's just a little bit tacky there.
Right, let's play those.
So we'll add a bit more.
But I'd rather something be taken my way. You can see the box coming in a minute.
Get in with our hands.
Loads now. Look at the pace they're going through, that smell and taste. They're obviously something going on in there, Daryl.
They know it's dangerous.
It's nearly there. You can see it's just leaving a little bit on my hands.
They're coming in, their pace.
So we'll just add a little bit more.
They're wearing.
But what we'll do, what I would suggest to people now is, if you're making boilies for the first time, when you get to that stage, instead of having more base mix to it, just push it away, go and make yourself a coffee and come back, because all them particles in there are sucking moisture in all the time. So while you've got that bait there, it's drying all the time. So rather than over drying it and getting it too hard, leave it a little bit on that sticky side and then just push it to one side. So what we'll do, we'll pop that to one side. We'll come back to that in a minute. But in here, I've got some of the summer zing. We're making the winter zing, the pink one. I've got some of the summer zing in here, which has got a little bit less of the more digestible milk proteins and everything in, and it's got higher levels of liver powder to make it more of a summer feed bait. But the reason I wanted to pick this one up and show you, we've got a 14mm table here, so we're going to put that into a 14mm gun and you'll end up with your boilies. If you want to make barrels, take a 12mm nozzle, 14mm table.
Time and time again. And anyone can say we're manipulating footage, but we haven't manipulated anything. I'd be mad to
squeeze that out.
Tell you anything but the truth.
Another thing, if you're ending up with boilies that are slightly egg-shaped, instead of being down here, because it's coming out under pressure, it's spreading. As soon as it comes out, as soon as it hits anything and stops, it spreads. So you end up with too much boiling paste in each block, and you end up with your egg shape. So let gravity do the work,
Nothing at all.
and you'll end up with a 12mm sausage instead of a 12.5mm sausage and get an egg shape. All you do for your barrel shape ones, 12mm nozzle, 14mm table, pop that on.
Then you've got the corn in, and they're now interested in the food, and then they're more in the milk bait. You then apply it
And there you go, perfect barrel-shaped bait.
A textbook reaction, what you're trying to achieve. And I'm sitting,
Pop them on there.
This is what you need to be doing, and I'm just going to show the media's reaction. My first thing is, well, if it was that good, why haven't I already heard about it? And the truth is that we're just in England, we think we know too much.
Yeah, we think we know, but we get left behind. We get left behind in technology, we get left behind in sport, we get left behind in medicine, and eventually
there we go, just pop them on there. So that's how to get your barrel shape on.
totally different route.
Now we come back to that, and that's dried out a lot more, just over them few minutes that we've left it on one side.
People forget it's not a quarter product.
So we'll take our 40mm.
Because it was so good. We didn't make it, we don't make it, someone else makes it. I started using it, I thought this is pretty unbelievable. And luckily the camera's proven it as well, you know. But there's a little twist.
Take our paste.
Because when me and Tom fished, then Dan came back to fish. And what did he do?
Pop it in there.
For all that has gone on, he put his own paste back on, right? And he catches a 40-pound common on his own paste, to be fair, so he caught another big one. But that same ball that maybe
then again, let gravity do the work.
Not, you know, the same fish swim over the bait. It was the best day we'd ever seen for fish action, right? And they just, eventually one took it, it just turned out it was that same common that blew me out a few days before, but he took it.
There we go.
The point was, that pop-up sat there all morning.
A couple of sausages.
It's a pop-up, you know, and you'll see it on part.
Take your table.
It wasn't because it's a pop-up.
Don't push straight down. Move it as you push it down.
We changed it to a goo one, and literally every time fish come in a swim, they went to do a bait. Yeah. And
There we go. There's your round boilies.
The hook point plucky. Elliot.
Just take the ends, give them a little roll.
The jack sharp there was absolutely perler. But it just
What we'll do, pop them in there.
out their mouths every time it went in.
Just like the water.
And went back to what we were using.
And you don't want your water, bring your water to the boil, then turn it down so it's just simmering.
I've never seen anything. Have you seen footage like that before?
No, definitely haven't seen footage like that.
I mean, like, there could be loads of bait left.
Right, water's just come to the boil. We'll just turn it down a little bit so your water simmers. You don't want it boiling because once it's boiling, it'll start to break your baits down as soon as they go in. Any little bits that go to the bottom will come up in the boiling and stick to the side of your bait. So that's that. So just nice, gently. Pop your bait in. Now a big thing that people do there, straight away they go in with a fork and stir them. Because they've gone into the water, they go soft to start with. So if you stick a fork in there straight away and move them around, you'll end up with weird shaped baits and fork marks in them. Leave them about 30 seconds, they start to skin, and then just really gently just whip the water around, and then all I do is give them one good stir and then just leave them. And then what will happen, in about 30-45 seconds, they'll start to pop up, and that means they're virtually cooked. So I wait till 3/4 of your bait have popped up, give them another 30 seconds, and that will give you the average hard bait. Now obviously, if you want to bait really hard because you're throwing stick or baiting up at 100 yards, give them about 4.5 minutes. But the majority of them, 90 seconds to 2 minutes. And I mean, another little tip, if you're fishing somewhere where you're baiting the margins, because you're setting the egg, what you can do is just freeze the paste bait. And a paste bait is a lot more digestible to the carp because the protein in the egg hasn't been cooked. It'd be a bit like me saying to you, here's 10 eggs in a pint glass. You could drink that, wouldn't be very nice, but you could drink 10 eggs. If I give you 10 boiled eggs to eat, you'd get to 5, 6, 7 of them and think, oh, I feel full. And that's how it affects the carp. The longer you boil them, the harder it is to digest. So there we go, they're starting to pop up now on the surface.
that's all we've got for the main stage show. What I would like to do.
Most of them have popped up.
Thanks, Darren. Thank you, guys.
So literally now, another 30 seconds.
The team here at the Northern Angling Show is give you a big thank you for turning up. Great show.
There we go, so we'll turn it off now.
We will, of course, be back again next year. The show's on for another hour, so if you have
Pop a bucket.
there might be a few bargains on display, just as last minuters. But thank you ever so much for your attendance from me and all the lads up here. Cheers, guys.
Drain them down. Pop them on there. That's going to get, you just leave them to dry, and then what I say to people is 24, 48 hours to air dry them. But if you're one of these people that makes all your bait for the year in one go, and they're going to be in the freezer for a while, for every month that they're in the freezer, air dry them for 24 hours. So if they're going to be in there 7-8 months, then air dry them for 7-8 days, because the more moisture you can get out of them, the less freezer burn and ice you'll get in your baits. And there you go, that's your guide to making bait.